Debrisha, for you, they ended up shooting 49%. They were above 50% for most of the game. I guess defensively, what did they do to kind of make it a tough night for y'all?
I just think they was very active as a defensive team. They made us see different type of defenses. Sometimes they was in zone, sometimes they would come trap. They just kept on changing it up to keep us on our feet.
On the offensive end too, it seems like they had some really good looks offensively for them. And what did you see on their offensive sets and what they were doing well?
I think they was very aggressive as a team. They was attacking the basket. They was hitting the open person. They just played well together tonight as a team.
For either of y'all, I mean, you've played in power conferences and know, kind of the grind that comes with, starting league play. I guess just what's kind of the message to bounce back from this one and not let one game kind of, snowball into others?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're in the SEC, so, credit to them. But at the end of the day, we're just going to get back at practice. This game does not define how we are as a team. We still have a long season ahead of us, so we just have to come in with that mindset that we're going to get better.
Welcome to the SEC. That game was everything that I thought it would be. I thought you had two teams that are fighting for March Madness, that you could feel the energy in the building. I challenged our crowd to show up, and I thought they were great. I'm just disappointed that we couldn't do our part, and I thought it started in that first 5 minutes. We had 4 great practices, but for whatever reason, we weren't dialed in on the defensive end. I think they came out of the gate and they had probably 4 or 5 layups off high on ball screens, that we had 0 rotations. And that just gave them a confidence and a spark to jump on us on the road. But I'm proud of my kids for fighting back. And like I tell them, put me in a situation where I can save my timeouts. And I couldn't. At the end there, we executed, but then there were certain situations that I needed to control that we just didn't manage. But you know what? We'll learn from this. And like I said, you got to punch, learn, and grow. We got to stay together, bend, and don't break. And, again, credit to Vanderbilt for coming and punching us in the mouth here opening day.
Probably the back.
I didn't even look. Did you have a timeout on that last possession?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on how that kind of transpired? I mean, was that what you wanted, a quick 2 right there?
We talked about a set play that we had. It was weird because obviously, the way the ball came off, that's a situation that, again, if we could have played perfect, I thought they were scrambling. That I told them in the timeout prior what our 3-point play where we were going to run, but then it was just a weird bounce. And then we took it, and it was more of attack and get a pitch kick, which were as good as anybody in the country. Then it was hesitant. Then it was get it back out. But again, like I always say, I'm a firm believer, you never lose a game to the last play. There were so many opportunities that we had that we'll go back that we're going to be it's going to be a tough film session. I thought there was a lot of box outs that didn't occur. I thought we did a heck of a job getting shots with our crowd behind us, but they just came up with the 50-50 balls. And then I didn't think we played scout and report defense. Jordan Oliver I thought was huge the second half. A kid who's usually a role player became a star. And it was just one of those nights. It was one of those nights where, it's going to be big. But the biggest thing for me is because it's about the defensive end. For us to give up 71 points, that's not the culture and what we're about. I thought we got really emotional with the missed shots that we missed. And for us to have 5 second chance points, there's several moments I kept challenging them in timeouts that, listen, they're going to mix up their defenses, but the biggest thing we got to do is don't turn it over and go rebound it like no other. And unfortunately, we didn't do that tonight.
It's in the front.
Sam, going off of the defense stuff, how disappointing is it that at home in an SEC opener the intensity wasn't really fully there on that side of the ball?
Yeah, that one's a surprise because, like I said, you heard me impress all week. There was not like I said, it wasn't vanity of the old, it's vanity of the new. They had our respect. I like what I did with the schedule by playing Mississippi Valley State and having plenty of days of practice to prepare for this game. Bottom line is you got to follow a scout. Everybody's got to do their part. And as much as I've been proud for the success we had, for whatever reason, I don't have an answer. I look forward to that team meeting tomorrow. But like I said, the best situation in this is we can't panic. We got to stay together, but film's going to be really good for us tomorrow.
You had a couple times there, I think it was early in the second and early in the fourth, you guys went on runs, kind of took control of the game a bit, and right away Vandy responded with a run of their own. What do you
Yeah.
think kind of, went into that, and how disappointing is it to not, maintain that momentum you guys had?
Yeah, I think there's parts of it. I want to make sure. I think my kids really wanted it bad. As much as I'm frustrated on the defensive end, I thought we went for home runs, right? There was probably 3 or 4 possessions where you could feel the energy in the building where we got a huge rebound, and then we took off in transition. We just turned it over. And we let that affect us. And I just think Vanderbilt stayed the moment. It was almost like we gave them a get-out-of-jail card when we threw it in transition and turned it over. And they were like, oh, thank God. Because then our crowd wanted to get on their feet, but we just couldn't seize that moment to make that 6-0 run and just put them away. And I think that's where that body language just played into the fourth. But, again, credit to my team because I told them, I think we start the fourth down 6, and I said, guys, you got this. You were down 8 to Colorado State. And for us to get a chance, we executed perfect. I think, Robbie, to your point, I think my last timeout was on that baseline out of bounds or sideline out of bounds play where we came out of the timeout and almost had a 4-point play. And then at that point, it's just a wild game from I took a chance. I didn't want to foul because they're good free throw shooters. I wanted it to play out. We got the miss, and we just didn't execute there at the end.
Jessica Carter held scoreless after the first quarter. What kind of things were Vanderbilt doing defensively to sort of neutralize her?
I think they run a 2-2-1 press where our guards have to come back to the ball. We got caught up too much ball reversal. We didn't look inside. Again, credit to Vanderbilt. They try to keep us off balance. She was changing defenses throughout the game, and like I told them, I try to simplify the playbook and not get caught up in too many sets and make reads. Again, this is a thing where it looked ugly at times, and that's where film's going to be so great. We just got to go back and say, hey, this is what we were trying to do, and look what happened. And then we just got to figure it out because this is the thing about the SEC. Ain't nobody having any mercy for us. They're coming after us, but we got to be the tougher team.
Going off of that, starting the gauntlet that is the SEC, another big challenge awaits this weekend. What goes into this quick turnaround and facing the #1 team in the country on the road?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. If you're a competitor, you love these moments. For us to be on ESPN at South Carolina, obviously we know we have a tall task at hand, but I know I got a locker room full of fighters. And again, I keep saying it, my focus is on tomorrow's film session. That's uncharacteristic for how we play today. And again, you got to give credit to Vanderbilt. They caused a little bit of that. So let's get back and watch film. Let's get back to the basics, and then let's put our best foot forward for 4 quarters, and let's see how the chips unfold on Sunday.
Going off of that, you obviously earlier in the week referenced this as an NCAA tournament-like game. How much, given what you guys have coming up in the weekend and next week, do you think this will feel like a missed opportunity, maybe a month from now or even in March?
Well, if you have that answer, that's a fortune teller, right? There's so many games. That's the beauty of our league. You can't let one game determine the rest. That's why I played a good non-conference schedule to put us in position that we're at. We're in a great situation. And I know last year we had, I think, a 2-game losing streak. And like I told y'all, the moment for me as the head coach of this program is our fans standing on their feet when we lost to South Carolina. I think at that point, was 3 in a row losses, and look what we did. We stayed together and we made history. So that's what this league's about. So I don't worry about that. Am I upset because we lost at home? You better believe it, because you got to protect. But now, guess what? If you lose one at home, now you got to steal one on the road and make up for what happened today.